Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
Oh, lights shining bright in the dead of night. Flashlight company, we're two so tight. From titanium hex to screw and toes, innovative designs, leaving all in awe. Oh, light, the brand that shines so bright. Collectors go crazy for the product so right. Badass and inexpensive, the fans just can't get enough. Olight, the brand that's tough.
Here's the thing. My silly ass actually meant to get the D2, not the D1, which is the carbon fiber slide cover version of their hex bit driver. Oh well, this one is more compact and maybe a little bit cooler. I don't know. I'm just covering up for my ineptitude. All right, so we get into this. We slide this open. There is your cool hex driver. You have plenty of paracord here to tie one off yourself. Maybe add a cute little bead. I don't know. What is cool, however, is that it's all titanium, baby. And it feels really good in the hand. It's got a nice, clean, bead-blasted finish, and it only weighs 1.5 ounces. So super crazy lightweight. And hidden under this cover inside of the handle are your bits. Come on out, boys. Yeah. And just like your mom's favorite toy, each one is double-ended. The bits are said to be hardened S2 steel so they don't deform or strip too easily. I hope that's the case. Not that you can really get a lot of torque behind these to begin with, but it is a good thing. Whatever, man. As long as it holds up, it's all that matters to me. When you're looking at a whopping $34, I think you'll be just fine. The bit holders are magnetic, so they don't just drop in and out like that crap driver you bought at Harbor Freight. I dig it, but next time I'll remember that I actually want the larger but flat carbon fiber D2 version. But if you're limited on space, this one is probably the best way to go. When you look at this, you get all the bits back in here. Let's get them back in their little slots. They stack up 2 at a time on each side. There's a nice steel ball bearing detent there that keeps this door nice and snug. I mean, there's nothing to it. There's no size to it. It's really wonderfully compact. Whether this is going to be in your pocket, it's going to be in a little miniature toolkit you have, like a little emergency toolkit in the car or in the saddlebag of your motorcycle, you are covered. The one thing I'm not overly in love with is the fact that you have to dump them all out, that you have them stacked like this. I would prefer that this were maybe a little tiny bit wider and you could have, maybe all 4 next to each other and you could pick out the one single driver that you wanted to get. If I knew I wanted to have let's use the large Phillips or the small Phillips, for example, I would be able to see that in there and then just pull it out. I wouldn't have to dump out, which one is this one? Oh, this looks like the little H2 and H1.5 to get to it. And then over here, we have a T8 and T6 driver. For knife guys, this is going to be your favorite because this is going to loosen up many of the pivots in your smaller sized folders. And still many companies do use the T6 hardware in the body screws, even though we keep telling them, no, use T8. A lot of times they still use T6. And then here you've got a standard flathead, and then you have a small Phillips. And this one is just 2 more sizes of Phillips. A little bigger, broader. It's got the flat nose on it. So that's going to lock in a lot better. If you've got a nice deep tool set on the screw that you're trying to take out, use one of the flat tip versions. It'll lock in better and be a little bit more solid. So let's get that all back together. Now, you might be thinking, was this really worth sitting down and doing photography and making a whole video on for such a teeny tiny and inexpensive little item? Yeah, I think it is, because here's the thing. All of us in the EDC community will eventually start realizing that we want to carry other things besides just knives and flashlights and guns. We're going to want to have practical things on us. And, that could be a multi-tool, that could be a nice little hex driver, it could be any number of things. And I think it's important to see all the options that are out there and available. And I'll tell you what sparked this initially. I was looking for a small keychain flashlight one day. And as I was looking at the different ones that were available, I came across one that was made by Olight, but it was unlike any others that I had seen before. I have one that's on my actual keychain with my keys that hopefully I'll never replace. I absolutely love that light. It is stupidly overpowered for how tiny it is. So it wasn't for that. It was going to be used as a zipper pull. But I wanted to have a light. And they make one that's magnetic, and it's attached to the zipper, and when you pull this end of it, when it comes apart, it automatically turns the light on. And I stopped and went, man, I forgot how innovative and clever Olight is with the things that they make. They don't just make a straightforward flashlight. They do a lot of really, really cool stuff. So as I started looking around, I saw the different types of multi-tools and hex drivers and things that they make. And I went, you know what? There's going to be somebody out there like I was about that little keychain light that needed something like that, didn't know that particular one existed. Then when I saw it, I fell in love and went, oh, wow, how have I ever lived without that? If there's going to be people out there that see this and have that exact same reaction, and they're going to get this thing and they're going to use it and go, wow, I am really, really, really glad that I've discovered this. Now, one thing, in case I forgot to mention it, well, I know I forgot to mention it, that's why I'm bringing it up right now. If you need additional leverage on your bit, get in there. Don't be a bad boy. That's what this little area right here is for. Oops, sorry, going the right way. So this can be looked at in 2 different ways. Number one, that you'll have more leverage on it than you would from back here, holding this skinny little handle. But again, this isn't a, big snap-on tool that you could put, 500 pounds of torque on or anything like that. But it's also great when you have very low clearance, where this longer handle couldn't fit behind something to do whatever you need to do. You've got this, which is easy to get in and turn and do what you've got to do in limited space. So again, Olight kind of thinks of everything. There is nothing basic about what they do. Everything they do, they put a little bit of extra thought into, a little bit of extra design, because they're always nice looking. They're always going to fit comfortably in the hand, whether it's a light or it's a pen or it's a knife or it's a tool. There's always that little bit extra that makes them special. And that's why I've enjoyed them so much over the years. And yes, it's very easy to get distracted with a lot of flashy brands that are out there, or a lot of little micro brands where you're thinking, well, that's a micro brand. There's something cooler and hip about that, more so than these big giant corporations like Olight. And you may kind of step away for a minute. But you're going to come back. And when you do, you're going to go, wow, why did I ever drift away? These guys are so fantastic. And yeah, they had their issues way early on in the beginning with their flashlights. They had some, let's face it, let's not sugarcoat things. They had lights that were exploding. That was a bad, bad thing. But that was years ago and long in the past, and something that they corrected and has never reared its ugly head again. So they took their customer service seriously. They replaced lights that were defective. They took care of people that had issues. And they took the feedback from their buying public, where the consumer said, do this, don't do that. And they've adjusted their business around that. So that's another reason why I really, really like them. So if you want to pick one of these up, these are a whopping $34. But here's the cool thing, down below in the description, as I mentioned in the intro, there will be an affiliate link that you're welcome to click on. It doesn't cost you a penny more. However, it does put a couple of pennies in my piggy bank. And on top of that, there's going to be a coupon code in there for you so you can save even more money, which is kind of nice. So anyway, thank you to Olight for making that offer available with the discount. I think that was really, really cool of them. And I'm going to move on because I have something else from Olight that I need to bring out that is not a flashlight, but I think is going to find a home in your EDC rotation. Come back for more.